welcome back to my YouTube channel, and in today's video I'm helping you to solve your hair care problems. A couple of weeks ago on my Instagram I asked you guys what you struggle with the most when it comes to your hair. I did this because I love sharing hair care related tips, but I want to share content that you guys can relate to. So most people were talking about how they struggle with moisture, with hairline, and many other things, and I want to share tips that you can relate to and can help you or make your hair journey easier. So if you know that you have quite some things that you struggle with when it comes to your hair, or you just think you may learn from this video, because I definitely did. When I was doing my research, there's quite a number of things that I didn't know, and I learned, and we all learn every day. So please do continue watching the video and enjoy. Today I'm just answering one of the mostly asked questions, because the next point is itchy scalp. And when it comes to itchy scalp, the major two causes are dandruff and a skin condition. When it's dandruff, it's either your hair is too dirty and there's product built up, or your scalp is too dry, or your hair is too oily. And when it's skin conditions, it could be diabetes, it could be eczema. Also, it can also be a bad reaction from a product that you just try out. So if your scalp is itchy and it's swelling and it's sore and it's painful and it's uncomfortable, and the itchiness lasts for too long, also you can't even sleep, it's that uncomfortable, you definitely need to consult a doctor, because it could actually be a skin condition. Otherwise, you need to wash your hair. You definitely need to wash your hair. So then what can you incorporate onto your hair care routine that can help you with that? The first thing is apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar has 0 preservatives, and it will also help balance your skin's pH. Then it also has anti-inflammatory properties, which is amazing. If you have itchy scalp, it will also help getting rid of dandruff. So then how do you use it? You'll dilute it with water, then after shampooing your hair, you will spray it directly onto your scalp and massage it for maybe 5 minutes, or depending on you. Or what I've been doing lately is that I'll spray it onto my scalp, then I'll put my deep conditioner and cover my head for about 30 minutes, depending on how long I deep conditioning, allowing the ACV to do what it does best. I've also seen who's this Vuya Morgan on Instagram. I saw her last week, but one somewhere there, she did hers differently. She applied her ACV when she was doing her lock method, either before the lock method or after or during, because her dilution, I'll have it pop up because I'm not sure exactly, but she was emphasizing on how it can't be too much apple cider vinegar, but because if it's a right amount, you can still incorporate it after you've shampooed and when you're doing your lock method, which I found interesting. Another thing that you can incorporate is peppermint oil. Peppermint oil is going to smooth your scalp, and it will also reduce dandruff. So you can incorporate it with a carrier oil. So dilute it with a carrier oil, then use it to massage your scalp, or use it maybe as part of your lock method, or as a hot oil treatment. Another oil that you can use is tea tree oil, because of its anti-inflammatory properties, but it can be irritating. So you also have to dilute it with a carrier oil. It could be olive oil, jojoba oil, or castor oil, or any other oil that's a carrier oil. And you can also use it as a treatment or massage it onto your scalp, or you can actually incorporate it into your shampoo. So when you're cleansing your scalp, it will also help to cleanse and clarify and get rid of that itch and of that dirt. One more thing that is very, very major when your scalp is itchy: please wash your hair. Wash your hair as often as possible, not too much because you don't want to overwash your hair, but minimum once a week, because dirt product builds up. That's also another thing that's going to result in your scalp being itchy and dirty. Definitely wash your hair. Porosity. What is porosity? How do I test my porosity, and so forth? So porosity has to do with how well your hair is absorbing moisture or products, and this can be a result of genetics, or what you've been doing to your hair, heat damage, or just damage in general, or chemicals which will be resulting from you over processing your hair or just over stressing your hair in general. So there's 3 types of porosities: low porosity, normal porosity, and high porosity. Normal porosity being by far the easiest to maintain. It retains moisture quite well, it's not really prone to breakage or freeze or anything, so it's very easy to maintain it. But then when it comes to low porosity and high porosity, it's a complete different story. Our hair is made up of 3 different layers. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but I want you guys to understand. So it being the cuticle, the cortex, and the medulla. So now our product or whatever that we apply, it has to get through the cuticle into the cortex. So when your cuticles are closed up, you have low porosity hair. That is why it takes a while for your hair to absorb moisture and a while for your hair to lose it. But when your cuticles are opened up, you have high porosity hair, hence it is easy for your hair to absorb moisture, and it's also easy for your hair to lose moisture. And when you're over processing your hair, overstressing it, using too much heat or chemicals, you're damaging your cuticles, hence they end up being opened up, hence high porosity where it's easily absorbing product or water whatsoever, because there's gaps and holes within the cuticles. How do you then test your hair's porosity? There's 3 ways to do it: the float test, the spray test, and the slide test. When you're doing the float test, you will need a glass of water, clean water, and preferably a clear glass, and then your hair has to be clean of product and dye, so thoroughly cleansed and dry. Take a strand of your hair, put it in the glass, and then observe how your hair is reacting. If it quickly sips to the bottom of the glass, it's high porosity. If it's gradually sinking, it's normal porosity. But if it's floating, it's low porosity. When you're doing the spray test, it's better that you section a part of your hair out, that way you can observe better. Then spray water onto your hair and then see how your hair reacts. Normally you can also see this when you're just doing your normal lock method, because when I have low porosity hair, so when I spray products into my hair, it takes a very long time for my hair to absorb it. I can be going on for 5 minutes to 10 minutes trying to massage the product onto my hair because of my closed cuticles taking too long to absorb the product. When you're doing the slide test, you have to stretch your hair out, hold it with your thumb and then your index finger, then use your other hand to slide going downwards to your scalp. If your hair is mostly smooth, then it's definitely normal porosity. If it's mostly smooth but dense, it's low porosity. But if it's bumpy and rough, it's high porosity, because you're feeling those gaps and those holes, and sometimes also it can be breaking as you slide down towards your scalp. So now those are the 3 different ways to test your hair's porosity. So now how do you then go about managing your hair's porosity depending on what test or what results you get from your test? Firstly, when you have low porosity, you have to look for protein-free shampoos and conditioners. That way it will not cause product build up, and low porosity has quite a good protein level, hence we do our protein treatment once every 2 to 3 months. Another thing is that when you deep condition your hair, you need to use heat. That could be from a heat cap, a plastic cap, a hooded dryer, or whatever thing that you can do that will result in a greenhouse effect. That way it's going to lift your cuticles, allowing the product to deeply penetrate. And if you're going to be doing anything also onto your hair, please always start with water. If you're going to be shampooing your hair, start with water. If you're going to be applying any other product, start with water, and look for products that are water-based, like your moisturizers or leave-in conditioners. They have to be water-based. If your hair is high porosity, you then have to look for ingredients like shea butter or butters and oils in your products that are going to help moisturize and seal in the moisture, since that moisture can easily escape. You also have to ensure that when you're going to be using heat or over processing your hair, use a heat protectant, or rather avoid those at all, because already your cuticle is already damaged enough. So you have to try by all means to avoid that. Also, you have to be friends with protein. You have to be friends with protein to help strengthen the strands of your hair. So another thing that was frequently asked, I mean everything is frequently asked, it had to do with moisture. So how do I moisturize my hair and how do I retain that moisture? So before we get to that, there has to be a good balance between protein and moisture onto your hair. How do you know? If you take your hair and then you stretch it out, as you stretch it, it starts breaking, you need moisture onto your hair. If you stretch it and it continuously stretches, you need protein, like endlessly stretching, you need protein onto your hair. But when you stretch it and there's good elasticity and it bounces back to its state, then there's a good balance between protein and moisture. One thing you have to be best friends with is water. Water, hydrate your hair, moisturize your hair. Water is one number thing. Before you apply anything on your hair, be friends with water and start with the water. And if you're going to be getting products, get products whose first ingredients is water. Have them be water based, like your leave-in conditioners, your moisturizers, your creams, because how is it moisturizing your hair if it does not have water in it? So it has to be water based. The best method to use to lock in moisture is the lock method or the LCO method, liquid oil and cream or liquid cream and oil, because when you start with the liquid and you then go in with your butter, the oil is going to seal all that in onto your hair. Then how you retain it is using a certain duco pillowcase. People actually think I don't need one, I'm going to use anything. Any other material that you use is going to be stripping away the moisture that you just locked in using the lock method. So you definitely need to invest in one, and you also need to get used to doing a moisture treatment. I do my moisture treatment once weekly, sometimes twice weekly, but you have to do it at least once or a weekly or once every 2 weeks, because the lock method is not going to last you the whole week or anything like that. So you have to occasionally deeply penetrate your hair with a good moisture treatment. Another thing that you have to do is trim the ends of your hair and avoid heat as much as possible. Trimming your ends, our ends, is one of the most overlooked things. People will be like, but I'm making my hair shorter. No, you are saving your hair. Firstly, our ends are fragile. They are the oldest part of our hair, so they can get damaged easily or break easily or anything like that. So you are going to get split ends. We all get split ends whether you use heat or not onto our hair. So you have to occasionally trim them before they climb up the rest of your hair, therefore damaging the rest of your hair. And when your hair is damaged, there is definitely no repairing it. Also avoid heat, because when your hair has just been over processed and has just been exposed to too much heat, it will not absorb moisture as it normally would. So you will do your lock method, you'll do everything that you're doing and you'll be doing it right, but your hair will be easily losing that moisture because it's quite damaged, and when it's damaged, there's no repairing it. So that's what you have to do when it comes to moisture. And I think I get quite a number of questions. Hairline. Hair-ther, my hairline is receding. How do I bring it back? How do I stop it? So when your hairline is receding, it means that your hair is falling out and your follicles are damaged. And there's also a chance that to a certain extent, your hair will just stop growing, because there are other people who've gotten to a point where their hairline is just not growing anymore regardless of what they do. So now there's quite a number of things that can contribute to your hairline receding. It could be genetics, it could be a diagnosis, it could be pregnancy, it could be stress, amongst other things that all have to do with medication, where you have to consult a doctor or anything along those lines. But there are also quite a number of things that you are also doing that are resulting in this. For example, gel. Gel will always dry your hair up, that's going to break it. Heat will definitely break your hair. Over manipulating your hair, so if you're one of those people who's twisting their hair every night, taking it down tomorrow, that would definitely result in that. Hairstyles that are too tight. If you're doing cornrows and you're playing around with your hairline, it will definitely recede. Also, wigs. I love wigs. They're amazing protective hairstyle. But the glue that you keep using every day or every 3 weeks, that is also going to result in your hairline receding. What can help you bring your hairline back, aside that you have to seek medication? You need to do whatever you're doing on your hair to your hairline. Not just your hairline in front, but your hairline at the back. So if you're doing treatments, your moisture treatment, your protein treatment, do the same thing for your hairline. So when you put your bonnet also, don't put it on top of your hairline. put it on your forehead, not on top of your hairline, allowing your hairline to get the same treatment that your hair is getting. Do your lock method also on your hairline. Do not neglect it. Also apply oils, massage your scalp because it will help with stimulating hair growth. And also do hot oil treatments because it will also stimulate hair growth. Do that on your hairline too. So on a regular basis, you can apply a leave-in conditioner, then get a good oil like castor oil, massage it onto your hairline, and it will be great. But you can't expect results within 3 days. That will happen over time, because over time things you see results. But if that's not helping, then you definitely need to seek a doctor, because it could just be other than you over manipulating your hair. I won't touch too much on hair growth because I have a whole video about hair growth, literally dedicated on hair growth. It's popping up right now, so don't forget to click that. So there's a lot of things also that contribute to your hair growth. The major ones being genetics, because genetics will always contribute to your hair, your food, what you take in, and the environment that you're in. Aside from that, it's now things that you can do, things that you can control, and that is what the video that I posted a while back talks about. Things that you can incorporate in your own hair care routine, things that you can do yourself that will change your hair. So basically lifestyle changes. So there's a few lifestyle changes that you have to make, and you'll see your hair growing healthy and strong and nourished and flourishing. And I hope you like this video, and I hope these tips came in handy, and these are things that you can definitely incorporate onto your hair care routine. If you're a first timer and you enjoyed this video, please don't skip that subscribe button. Tap. If you're a day one and you enjoyed it, thank you so much. I appreciate your consistency in watching my video. Thank you. Don't forget to like, to subscribe, to comment. I love comments. You guys know this. Feedback is everything to me. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you guys in my next video.